The operational context has 4 performance criteria. That means that the trainee needs to be able to do these 4 or demonstrate their skills or knowledge regarding these 4 performance criteria. They are to explain the background of the ASEAN Australian Development Cooperation Program, Phase 1, define competency-based training and assessment, and characterise the role of the ASEAN trainer. In achieving those 4 aims, the program has been designed to enable the individual to start using the toolbox for the Master Trainer program immediately. The trainees will have to use the trainee manual to complete the very first exercise in this program. So the first 2 activities require the trainees to actually use the trainee manual and the assessor manual. They have to then develop a concept map made up of acronyms, because the context in the operational context is full of acronyms. But so by the development of the acronyms, then we can begin to see their understanding of the operational context. The program then goes on and provides a number of PowerPoint slides which really just go over the information that is in the trainee manual. One of the areas that we begin to highlight now is on the aspect of recognition of prior learning, because it seems feasible that the recognition of prior learning will become a major component in the first instance for the rollout of the qualifications. Identify the operational context, the ASEAN competency-based training components, define competency-based training and assessment. First training activity is to try and understand more about what the trainees know about a competency standard. And we ask them to open up their assessor manual for the master trainer and locate the competency standard for the master trainer. Then start an examination of how that competency standard is written. So each competency standard is written in the same way. So there are 7 parts, and we go through and have an explanation of each of the parts and what each part does. Following the explanation, students are then broken up into a group and they do a competency examination. So we ask them to look at a number of questions using slightly different language, and we ask them to identify where the unit title is, how do you know if the job's going to be performed correctly, and they have to align these questions back to the various sections in the competency standard statement. So in most cases, once we start talking about SOPs or standard operating procedures, the linkage between a competency standard statement and an SOP can be made quite clearly. The next step is to look at what is competent performance. Again, this is an open question to the groups, and they supply many different answers. We want them to realise that a competency isn't just a linear or flat activity. It has a number of dimensions to it. So we're still now in talking about performance criteria 1.3. We then start to look at competency-based training and assessment. We try and put together an explanation of what the 2 activities are. One, really, competency-based training is to prepare an individual to be able to achieve the competency, and competency-based assessment is really just to confer that the person has the competency. Now, the 2 functions can be carried out by a single person, or they can be carried out by separate people.
The toolbox is very clear. It helps the trainee and the trainers in their learning and in their teaching. provided players the knowledge about the CBA and the CBT, and it's very important for trainer and trainee because it's a training and assessment system that is chosen by ASEAN to train to work in the tourism and hospitality in Asian countries. It's easy to understand and to catch the information.